What is going on, beautiful people? How are you? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, TikTok as well. Thank you for joining. Big day here in the NFL. A lot going on. A lot of rumors starting to fly like crazy as far as the block is concerned. And as you see this thumbnail, the most recent is Maxx Crosby tweeted out. Now, mind you, Maxx Crosby's tweets are also, Steve P, what's going on? Maxx Crosby's tweets are also always infiltrated with the eagle emoji and the diamond emoji. However, there's big time talk right now about the potential of Maxx Crosby going to the Philadelphia Eagles because the man tweeted this out this morning, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. However, we don't know all the particulars. All we know is that the Las Vegas Raiders have told us that they want 2 first-round draft picks and a player in order to give up Maxx Crosby at any point. Just like that of Micah Parsons. Geez, sorry. Last year when Micah Parsons left the Dallas Cowboys and was traded to the Green Bay Packers, there were 2 first-rounders plus a body, plus their defensive tackle that went to Green Bay in that trade. Now, that's what the Raiders want. They want the same thing, 2 first-rounders and a player, a viable body to go with him to Las Vegas. To exchange to Las Vegas if they're going to get rid of Maxx Crosby. That said, this is what Max said this morning. Okay, he said, fear less. He tweeted this at 8:10 this morning, and it's been getting a lot of steam. Fear less, do more. Bald eagle and diamond emoji. So, are we saying that this is something? I don't know. I'm not saying that it definitely is, but what I am saying is that it's getting a lot of heat. And yesterday, Albert Greer came out and said that he sees a Maxx Crosby trade imminent and happening soon, as quickly or as soon as this week. That was yesterday. Today's today. Is it going to happen? We shall see. I think the trade block is going to start getting hot here. That's why I wanted to jump online today and kind of get into it and see what all of you beautiful people think. Before we continue, please, if you're in here anywhere online viewing this, please, Barry Irwin, welcome. Subscribe and follow the channel right away for all of your NFL and Buffalo Bills content. Every day we're going to continue to do something, give you some kind of information, update, and what have you as far as the NFL and specifically the Buffalo Bills are concerned. And we'll get into the Buffalo Bills quote-unquote topics here in a moment, but it's not as groundbreaking as this trade would be in the event that this trade happens. Now, since that tweet, I will tell you that there's also been big-time Chicago Bears talks for Maxx Crosby or involving Maxx Crosby. And even DJ Moore's name's being thrown around. I don't think that DJ Moore is just that leftover additional player to be thrown into the mix as the body on top of the 2 first-round draft picks that the Raiders would require if they were going to part ways with Maxx Crosby. Patrick Selton, how are you? Welcome. Thank you. But that might mean a little bit less from Chicago. Is that a first-rounder and a second-rounder with DJ Moore going to Las Vegas? Would the Raiders gladly welcome DJ Moore to help what almost undoubtedly seems to be Fernando Mendoza as their quarterback for next year, taking him with the first overall pick of the draft coming up in April? I don't know. That's what's flying around now. I tweeted out yesterday. Things have changed a lot in the last week, obviously, as they always do. However, what I can almost guarantee is I feel something big will happen this week along with Albert Greer, and that might be today. So if it's today, I want to be available and I want to catch it. A couple other things that we can talk about in the interim. Well, let's get the decks here. Vikings are open to trading Pro Bowl edge rusher Jonathan Greenard. Wonder if he would be an option for us. Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. It depends to me on what's gonna happen. Are the Bills going to part ways with AJ Epinesa? some people are even throwing out the idea of Maxx Crosby to the Bills for 2 first-rounders and Ed Oliver. So if Ed Oliver does go and that trade actually happens, I don't think that it will personally, but if it does, well, then another defensive lineman is certainly going to be needed in the mix, and particularly an edge rusher. If they let AJ Epinesa go, same deal, just losing pieces here, right? Next game, I think if Eagles did trade for Maxx Crosby, they would only give AJ Brown plus first-round pick for Crosby because they want a first for AJ. Yes, I know. I heard that they did. I think that's a little much, in my opinion. I don't think that the Eagles are Kim Diaz, how are you? I don't think that that's asking a reasonable amount of money for AJ Brown, in my opinion. I think he's not worth it, but that's me. I'm not on the AJ Brown bandwagon. I really never have been. That doesn't mean he's a good player. He's not a good player, excuse me. But I feel that they're asking too much. Now, just like Keon Coleman, which the Buffalo Bills came out yesterday and said is going nowhere, and that they love Keon Coleman. I don't think that the Eagles are simply stating that AJ Brown is first rounder or nothing. I hate to say this, although I hope it's true. I think that the Buffalo Bills and Brandon Beane and Terry Pagula, who both said that they met with, Brandon Beane and Joe Brady said that they met with Keon Coleman's agent during the combine. Terry Pagula also said that we love Keon Coleman as an organization. Freeman Miller, how are you? That doesn't mean to me that they're not willing to give up Keon Coleman. Although the Bills came out also in the same story and said that if they were to consider even trading or getting rid of Keon Coleman, that it would be for nothing less than at least a second-round draft pick. Freeman Miller, let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, baby. So I'm not saying that that's true and that he's going nowhere. I hope he doesn't. We all know this. That if you've been following me, I want Keon Coleman to stay put, and I think he's going to be much better than his first 2 years. But I think that's just general manager and front office speak to tell teams, send teams a message that this guy's not going anywhere. So if you're going to come ask me, you better come aggressively. That's kind of where my mind is on the Keon Coleman thing. And I think that's the same with AJ Brown. I mean, because let's just call it what it is. The culture and the relationship with AJ Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles is not that good. I mean, so to come out and say, oh no, we'd have to get the world, to let go of him. I just don't see that. I don't think that it worked out all that well last year and even the year prior all that much, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think that it's kind of just a ploy or a smoke signal saying, hey, if you want to come here, Yeshwani, what's up? How are you? Then you better come with the heat if you're going to try to ask me to give you AJ Brown, just like the Bills are doing. If you're going to come ask me for Keon Coleman, you better bring it, baby, because he's not going for nothing. He's our type of guy. We want him. He's legit. And we're not going to give him away for nothing. So don't read into the media headlines thinking that we hate Keon Coleman and we have a big issue with him. Not the case. But I could be wrong, of course. Ed is off the trade block, in my opinion. I freaking hope so. I don't think Ed Oliver should go anywhere. But I'm just saying that's been kind of some of the talk about who would have to go in the event that the Bills were making a play potentially with or for Maxx Crosby, which could happen. I don't know. I feel, let me just say this. I feel that Brandon Beane is to the point in his career, and especially over the last few years with this madness of the wide receiver room talk, that Brandon Beane will do, and I hope he doesn't overcompensate. That's my only fear. But he will do whatever he has to do to make a splash, if for no other reason than to shut us all up. I mean, I really think that that's coming out of him. And again, I hope he doesn't overcompensate and just go get a name that doesn't really fit and that won't do that well for us. Get a real big name that's on like the last leg of his career that might not even be all that productive anymore, potentially, just to say, Got you guys the splash wide receiver that you were all freaking talking about, the ex wide receiver one. Here you go. Here you go. If it's not the right move, it's not the right move. We've put enough pressure on him, and he deserves it. He's the general manager of the Buffalo Bills. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but he gets enough pressure to where he feels it. And I think that if we put enough on him, he's going to try to make a move just to say that he made a move. So something will happen. I don't know what it is. And that's why I think the Ed Oliver name is not so insane to at least be floated around as a potential. I don't think it will happen, but I understand the people that are saying that his name could be involved with a big blockbuster trade because of the fact that Brandon Beane needs to make a splash, or he might get run out of town real soon, unfortunately. Well, fortunate or unfortunate, whatever you feel. Also, if Caleb Downs falls to the 20s, would you want to trade up for him? I would, because I think he's easily one of the top 5 best players in the draft. Okay, I really enjoy, Caleb Downs, and I think he would fit fantastically. But I will say this. Did I not just read yesterday that he has ACL issue? Or is that just fluff? It could be. I don't know. But it is a little scary because obviously the Buffalo Bills especially last year, had the worst luck possible when it comes to the injury front. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to trade up, not be 100% sure or certain that this gentleman is healthy, and then have him go down like a Maxwell Harrison in training camp. 2 years in a row, first-round pick, doesn't play until week 8. That would really piss me off. Was able to catch your live from the start for the first time in a bit. Let's go. Hope everyone's doing good. Ethan, how are you, brother, man? Thank you for hopping in. Having a good time. Lot going on today. Beth knows ball. How are you, Beth? What up? Hope all is well on your end, Beth. Good to see you. Asa Munn, how are you, Asa? Freeman Miller, thank you. Dexy, that's what I don't want. Mike Evans, thank you. He is reportedly wanting a 2-year deal with $42 million per year. No, me either. Mike Evans for $42 million would be catastrophic. He's so good, though. He's so damn good. Okay, Dexy, question for you. I'm just throwing this out there, right? If Mike Evans did not get hurt what seemed like 16 different times just in 2025, if he did not get hurt this past year, what would you think? Let's say he had 1,000 yards, 80 catches, 7-8 touchdowns, like his average or a little bit below his average season in his career. Would you be saying the same thing? This is the only place where I go, I totally agree. But then I'm like, wait, shit. Mike Evans is the real deal, man, when healthy. The real freaking deal. Mike Evans' last contract was also very, very heavy roster bonuses and signing bonuses. His base salaries were nothing. Let's see what their market value is. I'm going to pull this up for all of us. Share this instead. Here's Mike Evans. For all of you on TikTok. Tay, let's roll, baby. Wait, did I miss Tay? Tay, how are you? What's up, baby? So I have Mike Evans pulled up. His market value, Spot Track is saying $13 million a year for 2 years. So if he's wanting 21, not really looking like it's going to happen. Cooper Kupp got 3-year $45 million when he was 31. Stefan Diggs got 3 years, $63 million. There's your 21 a year when he was 31. Keenan Allen got a 1-year deal. Devontae Adams, 2-year, $44 million when he was 32. But they weren't coming off these injuries that that Mike Evans, like I remember Mike Evans came back, right, from his first injury last year. He came back, and boy, did he look different, and he immediately injured himself again, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was watching that game. I was like, oh my God. Should he have not come back because he was just folded like a pretzel, and it looked like he broke in half. He literally looked like he broke in half. Feel bad for the man. Will Johnson fell for the same reason. Downs is going to fall, and he was fine. Rookie. Fine as rookie. I know. Yes. I've read and went back to refresh myself about that as well. And that certainly could be. I'm not saying that an injury that has taken place with one of these young guns will always follow them. just simply questioning it. That's all. That's all. But you're right. Also, do you remember we are moving to grass? Yeah, hell yeah. Let's pull this up, actually. Great point. What Dexy was saying for everybody in here. Yashani, how are you? The report cards got leaked, right? So the NFL came out with the Players Association. The Players Association lost, and the NFL said no more team report cards graded by the players. By the way, I put a small video on that at one point because I feel that that's completely ridiculous in my opinion, and they need to have those report cards because where's the accountability on the organizations? If not these report cards, we don't really know. And it's also, in my opinion, the fans, I don't want to say right, but kind of, they have a good enough argument to me that the fans should know how the players feel about the organizations around the league. Because if an organization is graded poorly by its players and players do not feel 100% confident playing for that team, whether it's because of the way that their families are treated or their travel situation or their nutrition or their weight room or their playing surface or their coaching staff and weight, like these are all the things that are graded. If a team is known around the league to not be up to snuff for some very important topics that these players care about, and that is a big reason why a free agent will not want to sign with your favorite team that you spend hundreds or thousands of dollars a year to support and buy the jerseys and buy the tickets and travel and pay $1 million for NFL ticket and do all this other stuff. If you're paying your hard-earned money to support your team and they do not live up to their standard enough to want to enough for a free agent to want to come here, then shame on that organization. And you, in my opinion, the payer, the fan, have the right to know that they don't do enough as a company to attract top talent. There we go. That's the reason why I feel that the report cards are extremely legitimate and that we should know. And I was very upset when they made that decision to not do or publish these report cards any further. I think it's completely reasonable for fans to know what the players feel about their favorite teams and their favorite organizations. I mean, call me crazy. What say you guys? What do you feel about that? Leave me a comment. Please tell me what you feel about the report cards and if we should know them and see them. Okay, moving on to the report card. Well, I don't know, moving on, but continuing. I just got in a rant. Sorry about that, Dexy. Let's try to pick this back up. I got to find it, so bear with me as we're talking. Please, like I said, put in the comments what you feel about the NFL's report cards. And if you feel that they should go nowhere or remain. I'm going to do this. Try to look. I don't know that I saved it. Okay, here we go. We're going to pull up this. Buffalo Fanatics has got it up, so we'll use him or them. All right, let's take a look at this. Here is an example of how the report cards look from the players. Here's what the players get to go in and vote on about the team that they play for. These categories: treatment of families, home game field, playing condition. That's what that means, and that's what Dexy was speaking about just a few seconds ago. Food and dining area, nutritionist, dietitian, locker room, training staff, weight room, strength coaches, position coaches, offensive and defensive coordinators individually, special teams coordinator, team travel, head coach, general manager, and team ownership. So those are the topics that they get to vote on. And here on this screen, as you'll see, is how the Buffalo Bills fared. They had B's and A's for every single category with the exception of home game field. The turf at this, well, now the old Highmark Stadium was not Anowazik. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for hopping in. I don't know what exactly it was about it, but the turf in the old Highmark Stadium clearly to the players of the Buffalo Bills was not friendly to them. Now, turf generally has always been especially the old style AstroTurf, has always been really hard on players' joints, knees, ankles, and even when falling, it doesn't absorb the impact from a body all that well. So it's been harsh and it's been hard on injuries, the old style turf. But since years ago, when the technology had changed and you have a softer turf with long blades of grass, although it's fake, coupled with millions and millions and millions of pieces of shredded up rubber, basically like tires, created layers of soft impact. So the knees and the joints and the ankles and the feet, coupled with falling, being tackled, what have you, on that turf was much, much easier. That said, the players clearly do not enjoy the old Highmark Stadium's turf conditions because they were grading it as an F. So not even decent or halfway decent. No, horrible F. That being said, the new Highmark, which is the home stadium for the Buffalo Bills in 2026-27 season, is natural grass. Can't get softer than that. Can't get more forgiving than that unless you have an extremely deep-rooted grass system or it's extremely wet and slippery. But the infrastructure underneath the field, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but the infrastructure, I got a tour of this place as it was being built. The infrastructure is so fantastic that there's drainage underneath, irrigation, which, okay, not all that crazy, but it's also heated. So it's almost like a radiant heating style system. So snow is not going to be an issue. We probably will. We'll be in a game next year because it's open. It's not a dome. It's still open. We're going to be in a game next year where it is snowing like absolute bonkers. And that field, you won't even be able to tell it's snowing. It's going to be heated as such. They got hot water, probably brass or I would assume copper piping or PVC. I don't PEX. I'm not sure what they use. But I think it's 3 to 3.5 feet below the actual line of the grass itself. We're going to have hot water being pumped through. So, in essence, what that means is the sod conditions will be perfect. They should be perfect whenever that game is being played. And always. Every weekend, every game, whether it's freezing, hot as hell, snowing, windy, it doesn't matter. It should be perfect conditions to play football in every single game because they can manipulate the playing surface from a room, inside stadium or across the street, whatever, anywhere. Probably damn Bluetooth, which is cool. Technology is insane. So that F there, by the way, that F that I'm talking about should be an A+ immediately. I don't even think they do A's. I think it's just A's, A minuses. Well, maybe. I don't know. So it should be fantastic. All right. And that's what the bill. So treatment of the families, maybe something to take into account a little bit. Food, dining area. Nothing on here is glaring at all, except for the home field, which obviously is being addressed. And it was prior to this coming out anyway. So kudos to the Bills. That's a good report card. So you as a Buffalo Bills fan, if anybody on here is a Buffalo Bills fan, you tell me. You look at that report. Does that give you any reason to think that your dollars spent are not being used in the right manner for that organization to bring in top talent and do whatever it takes to go win a Super Bowl? That's up to you to decide. But let me know, please. Comment in the boxes there. Let me know. Okay, let's get into some more comments here. That's what Okay, we got that. How old is Crosby? I believe Crosby is 30 years old. Let me double check that. But I think that no, I'm sorry. He's 28. 28 years old, Maxx Crosby. Not that old. Do you move mountains? Do you move mountains? Do you get rid of multiple first-round draft picks and a legitimate football player that is on your team currently? Because that's what it's going to take, and that's what the Raiders told us that it's going to take. I don't know. I say probably not. I say probably not, depending on who that player is. But I will say that I would have no problem giving up a 26th pick and then next year's first rounder if that player could be a Josh Palmer. Ed Oliver, no. Josh Palmer, I'm in. What say you? There's my hypothetical to you. So the Raiders say, I will give the Buffalo Bills Maxx Crosby for 26 and a 27 first rounder. The dad pool. Yo, what's up, baby? Donald, how are you, Donald? And you have to give me Joshua Palmer. So 26 first, 27th first, and Joshua Palmer. We give you Maxx Crosby. What say you? I say sayonara, Josh Palmer. Sayonara first round picks. Give me Max, 100%. Ed Oliver, I say no. I can't give up on Ed Oliver. He's too good. He's absolutely too good, and we're going to need him, and I think he's going to flourish, actually, in Jim Leonard's system. I do. I think he's going to be fantastic in that system. Yashani, back in. What's up, Yashani? We're just going to first year this, dad pool. First year this, first year Ed Oliver for Max. Okay. We were talking about that, dad pool, and I personally am against Ed Oliver leaving for that deal. I am totally okay if the player is a different player, but not Ed Oliver. Do me a favor, everybody. Again, remind you, please subscribe immediately for all your Buffalo Bills and NFL content and updates. We're going to be doing this a lot more here coming up soon. I was able to carve out a lot more time to be giving more updates, and we're on a roll, so we're going to keep it going. Today, I'm assuming it's going to be a big day. I'm not flickering through X as I probably should while we were doing this together, because if there's any breaking news, somebody tell me immediately and we will go over it. The potentials are the Maxx Crosby deal. Kenneth Walker, mind you, is another topic that we'll get into. Not necessarily a trade because he's a free agent now. And he was just the Seahawks, who we all thought were going to franchise tag him. They just came out earlier today. And they're now not – they didn't say this. I'm sorry. It's alleged that they will not be franchise tagging Kenneth Walker. So that will be a free agent running back, to where a couple places that I can see grabbing him, mainly the Kansas City Chiefs, although I don't think he'll last this long. But Jeremiah Love, I think the Chiefs would love him, but I think that after his combine, he's top 5. I think he might be the best overall player in the draft. He absolutely destroyed and killed his combine. So we'll see, but this is what we're talking about. So what was I doing? What was I going to pull up? Oh, yeah, I'm just going to flicker through. Again, yeah, thank you. I had to stop myself there because, as someone had mentioned to me the other day in the chat, I really don't ask anybody to subscribe or anything. And I guess you're trying to do this content thing, you're supposed to do that. So subscribe and follow, please, immediately. I love all of you. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Dad Pool, Ro Jimmy. How are you, Ro Jimmy? What's up, brother? One of the originals, Ro Jimmy. Talking trade rumors and what's happening around the NFL. Let's see what Dexy has to say. Well, first of all, Ethan, that sounds like a good deal. I think, yeah. I mean, I might be grasping for straws. But listen, the Raiders just gave up Myers. They don't really have a receiving core. They got some issues on the back end of the defense. They have Genty, but they also have some offensive line issues. So I don't know that Josh Palmer would really matter to them, but I'm just saying I'm okay with that versus first, and Ed Oliver. I would do a 27 and 28 first. Palmer, Taron Johnson, also they want to Landon Jackson. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with him being next if they want the defensive lineman. 27 and 28. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to keep pushing the thing down the road, right? If they're okay with that. Palmer, I have no issues with seeing go away. No issues. Taron Johnson, depending on the system, I don't know what they feel. I don't know what Jim Leonard feels about the system either, or about Taron Johnson. If it's anything like the Denver Broncos, where Jim Leonard comes from, then Taron Johnson might not play all that much because they don't run nickel. But obviously they don't have the same roster, okay, in personnel. So it doesn't mean that we're just all of a sudden never going to run a nickel again. I'm just throwing it out there for you guys to make your determinations. The Denver Broncos ran the least amount of nickel of any team in the NFL last year. And Taron Johnson is a nickel corner. So again, just something to think about there. Chris Scott, how are you, Chris Scott? I'd actually would love to sign Phillips and draft Sadiq or Proctor. Okay, I just don't think that's a necessity. And if they move mountains, because they will have to, if they're going to get Sadiq, I think he's slated most likely right now to go to the Chargers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to move up. I don't know that you move up for that man for the Bills. Because Dalton Kincaid, when healthy, and if he stays healthy, is as good as any tight end in the league. Tucker Kraft's a pretty badass. But keep in mind, Dalton Kincaid has more yards per route ran. Third most in the NFL. Okay. All receivers, including wideouts. He didn't get the snap count and he didn't get the targets that I felt that he deserves. Put it that way. More targets per route ran. I'm sorry, more yards per route ran than everyone in the NFL, with the exception of, I want to say, Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua. I mean, come on. Come on. Dadpool says, B needs impact players to win now, not later. Agreed. Totally agree. That's why I'm saying I'm good with Crosby. But again, Ed Oliver is a ridiculous impact player. So I'm not saying that he's better than Maxx Crosby, but do you get kind of half of Maxx Crosby because you give up Ed Oliver? That's kind of where my head is at on that. You know what I'm saying, Dadpool? How much do you think Crosby will affect the Bills overall if they somehow manage to get him? Well, you mean on the field play? Tremendous. Tremendous. He'd give us something that we haven't seen in Buffalo in years. A consistent, ridiculous pressure guy every week. Every week. And what teams have to do to tamper him or to address Maxx Crosby means Greg Rousseau, potentially an AJ or whoever that other edge is, or Joey, if he stays, Joey Bosa, they're going to be opened up. And quite honestly, Deion Walker's going to be freer. Eddie Oliver, if he stays and we get Max, he's going to be more free. And Ed Oliver's a sack guy as well. RHO, Justin, how are you guys? Ed has been injury prone last few seasons off the field in high leverage moments. I agree with you, Dad. I do. One dad pool. I understand. I'm just not ready to give up on the man because what he did, I mean, we saw him the first drive last year against Baltimore Ravens. Sack. I think it was the first third down of the year. Sacked Lamar Jackson. So you want to give up on Kincaid? That's what drafting Sadiq means. I don't. No. I think you're talking to Chris. Because no, I don't. I'm not ready to give up on Kincaid. Not at all. Not at all. Let's talk a little bit about the other person that you see on this thumbnail that might have attracted your attention. I don't want to just get away with him or from him. It's not my intention to do whatever that clickbait stuff is. But let's talk about Kenneth Walker. Where's Kenny Walker going to go? If he does not get franchise tagged, which reportedly he will not be this season or anytime soon. Justin, how are you? Thank you, Justin. Welcome, brother. Will he get franchise tagged? No, that's the idea as of this moment. The answer to that is no, he's not. Could things change? Well, of course they could. That said, the talk of the world is that the Seahawks, according to Adam Schefter, which I'll pull up to you because no one needs to believe me, but because of history, you believe Adam Schefter. And here he is. This was today, an hour and a half ago. The Seattle Seahawks, are not expected to tag Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, who now is poised to become an unrestricted free agent when the new league year opens on March 11th. So, if that is true, then again, I don't see Seattle keeping the man because he's the Super Bowl MVP, and there are a lot of teams that need a running back, and I don't know that the Seattle Seahawks will pay him what everyone else will. Texas. What's up, Texas? It's easy for me. AJ for Max, swap, and we throw in a third. Texas, appreciate you coming in here, brother. I don't know if it's your first time. Thank you for hopping in. Give me a subscribe, will you? But there is no way in hell the Las Vegas Raiders give you Maxx Crosby. And I say you because I think your profile picture there is an Eagles jersey. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't really tell. There's no way in hell the Raiders give you Max for AJ in a third. I love you. Good luck for you, I guess, for the Eagles. I would certainly hope that happens. I have many Eagles fans, friends that are Eagles fans. No shot that happens. But wishful thinking, bro. RHO, how are you, RHO? Good to see you. Minnesota, Green Bay, or Washington, Dadpool says. What do you mean by that, Dadpool? Ben Flores, how are you? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, for who? Minnesota, Green Bay. Oh, you're talking about Kenneth Walker. Oh, maybe. I think he goes to Kansas City. I think Kansas City figures out a way to get him. They need a run game in the worst way. I want to pull something up that I tweeted the other day. I reposted. We're going to get back into Kenneth Walker here in about 2 seconds, but I just have to, before I forget, I have to. How do I get to my? I don't even know how to do this. Is that my profile? There we go. Let's come down here. I want to show you this. This is my point when it comes to. Oh, here we go. Take a look at this. Highest, lowest catchable throw rates in the NFL last year. Ben Flores, what's going on? Up at the top, Spencer Rattler. Wow. Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, of course, Mac Jones, Bryce Jones. Catchable throw rate. Highest catchable throw rate. I mean, look at that list in the top 5. Right? And look at who's 33rd in the NFL. There's only 32 teams, mind you. And I don't know what the qualifier was as far as pass attempts goes, but Patty Mahomes is down there at 33rd for catchable ball rate at 82.2%. Patty Mahomes did not have a great year, and we all know this. And then he got hurt, of course. But part of that is because of his offensive line, and he had no run game. Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs have made a living off of RPO in the last few years and working the pass game off of the run game. They don't run the football. It's a big part of the Kansas City Chiefs. And because they haven't, look at Patrick Mahomes' catchable ball rate. That's horrible. That's horrible. So, because of that, it makes me feel that they are high on the ranking for who will be looking and putting a big number out there for Kenneth Walker. I really believe that. Now, someone else mentioned, I think it was Dadpool, Minnesota, Green Bay, or Washington. Well, Minnesota just released Aaron Jones. Am I correct with that? They might be a player to go after Kenneth Walker because they also just 2 days ago, I think it was, said that their quarterback's not the guy. McCarthy is not the guy for them. So Minnesota's in shambles. Might be a decent idea to go look at Kenny Walker, Super Bowl MVP. Let's pull this back up for Kenny Walker. Right here, UFA, you see it, 2026, unrestricted free agent. Unrestricted. So, what do we feel that this is always important. Always important. Spot Track saying 90-year AAV for 4 years. So 9 years, 36 millionies is what Spot Track says that Kenneth Walker will get. Excuse me, or should get, or whatever, what he's averaging. And if you look down here under his comps, here's the most recent, our guy in Buffalo, James Cook, 4 years, 46 million. There was a big, long, drawn-out process for that, and it was a polarizing topic for many months. James Cook last year. What are the Bills going to do with James Cook? They ended up at, I think, extremely favorable. And I mean, it's easy to say this now. He's the leading rusher in the NFL. But favorable for the Bills, even from the rip, because a lot of people thought that he was going to walk away unless he got $15 million a year. But for 11.5 a year for 4 years, you know, pretty legit. Now you have Josh Jacobs that got 12 a year at age 26. Ramondre Stevenson, 9 a year for 4 years at the age 26. And then David Montgomery, who now is a Houston Texan, right? 27 years old. He had a 2-year deal at 9.1 years. So they're putting in they're putting in the Super Bowl MVP into the category of the other top backs in the league, which rightfully so. I mean, the man is the real deal, and he has showed out. He really has, and he showed out in the big time opportunity, right? In damn Super Bowl. You can't argue that. You can't argue that. You need a big back. There you go, baby. Good for him. He's got his. He's getting his. Don't Raiders need a wide receiver one for Mendoza anyways, though? Yeah, well, yes, for sure. I mean, they're going to want somebody for him to throw the football to. Now, honestly, Texas, be honest with me. Is A.J. Brown a legitimate number one for a rookie quarterback? Hear me. Hear me. Is A.J. Brown the wide receiver one that you want to put your franchise quarterback paired up with? And I think you know why I'm asking that question. Diana Gillespie. How are you, Diana? Diane, welcome. I don't think that A.J. Brown is the guy that I want for my franchise quarterback. A.J. Brown bitches more enough for the whole West Coast full of football. A.J. Brown has come out multiple times and said, I just want my receptions, my yards, and my touchdowns. I don't care. A.J. Brown reads books on the Bible or on the sideline. I don't care what kind of book it is. This is not a religious channel. No politics. I'm not even taking a stance on the book. But what I'm saying is he's reading a book on the sideline. That, to me, that's an issue. I don't know if the man cares to win. And if you're going to have a rookie quarterback who you're putting all of your eggs in, probably the long term, right? You don't take him first if you don't think he's going to be your guy for 10, 12, 15 years. Then I do not want A.J. Brown infiltrating my rookie quarterback's mind with nothing else matters except for throwing me the football. I don't care. But I'm not an Eagles fan or a Raiders fan, so I'm trying to be unbiased, and I don't know, Texas, maybe you're giving a little bit too much credit for A.J. Brown, but I don't know, maybe. What do you say about that, Texas? Really curious to see your stance. They said they don't want to start a rookie quarterback, so he won't be QB1 out the gate. Well, I think that's easier said than done. The man better be playing football, in my opinion. Raiders don't want to start Mendoza, so what the F they want to start? Yeah, right. That's kind of my – I kind of agree with that. I do. And okay, so let's say he doesn't start, right? Currently. And you're going to go with I think they're still trying to get something for Gino, right? He's going to be starting by week 8 anyway. The Raiders are bad. And especially if they give up Maxx Crosby, the Raiders are bad. So what do you do? Defense that was good. When I went down, we lost our mojo till Hoyt was back. And that 100%. Dexy, Michael Hoyt. Love Michael Hoyt. X Factor. Michael Hoyt is an absolute stud. Dadpool says, what if K9 goes to Jacksonville and ETN goes to Seattle? Well, ETN's not a free agent, I don't believe. I think I spelled that correctly. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Well, you know what? I did not know that. He has not been getting much talk lately here. Cloud option in 2025. Okay, so that would be something else. I don't see the Jaguars moving on from ETN. Well, let's see then. Let's see what. Okay, so 2 years. Najee Harris. Man, that's. I got to be honest with you. I have not heard much about him, Dadpool. That's a good point. Enigma, how are you, Enigma? I don't know if that's going to rear its head or not. Is that something that we're going to see some talks of? Michael Hoyt, yeah, a complete and utter stud. I mean, I don't know, because I don't know why they were so quick to get rid or, let him walk other than the suspension. But I'm talking about the Rams. But man, does he fit nicely with us, and he'll fit even better with Jim Leonard's contract. I'm just poking through here. I'll leave this. I'm just poking through to make sure we're not missing anything here. Anybody got anything? We're not missing anything, are we? Nothing's happening without us. If you're in here, appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow and subscribe. A lot more time we're going to be putting into this, in the near future for sure. We might even try to get online every day, live at around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Dadpool, my man, you're on here too. Dadpool, sorry, brother. It's a lot. I think we talked about this last time. I'm almost there with TikTok, but I can't do the same thing. So what I'm showing you here, you can't see over there. Hopefully soon. I just need this thing, tech stuff, almost to 1,000 followers over there, and then I think you'll be able to see it over there. Yeah, ETN, you're right. I was just going through. Maybe you missed me if you were hopping between one and the other. Extremely interesting. And there's not much, there's not much talk about him. I don't see the Jaguars wanting to move on unless they can get Kenneth Walker, because I would certainly take K9 over ETN, but ETN's a solid, viable option. And the Jaguars, let's call it what it is, had a really good season. They're trending upwards. I commend the Jaguars for the season that they had. I think they did a great job. And I'm not a Jaguars fan, as we all know, but I think they did really well. Good for them. Good for them. Rams just had too much depth. Yeah, but now, you're right. But now it's like, I feel like they're trying to scramble for edge guys. I don't know. All right, Texas. Let's see, baby. What do you have to say? Rick Lowe. It's Ryan O'Toole. How are you guys? Ryan, it's Ryan O'Toole. How are you? If it's a passing attack, he's a perfect wide receiver one. You can throw it up to him when in trouble, or you can throw it to him to keep possessions alive. Okay. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with, you can just throw the football in his vicinity, and he's such a big, strong body that he'll more often than not figure a way to come down with it. No question. Do you somewhat agree with me, though? Like, I can give you that. Do you somewhat agree with me, though, that A.J. Brown is on the mental side of things and the developmental side of things with a rookie quarterback, maybe less than what's to be desired if you're talking about a true wide receiver one? Can we agree with that, at least, Texas? I want to say yes, exactly. This is how it looks, and I'm hoping this is how it'll look on the other one as well here as soon as we get there. Everybody on TikTok, love you all. Follow me immediately, or subscribe, whatever it's called. A.J. Brown wants to win a Super Bowl now, though. He's not going to have patience. You think? I don't know if he really cares. I honestly don't know if he really cares. I mean, he did, right? Okay. All right. Listen, I'm this is quick. I don't know what the All right. Okay. Here we go. I got to share this about A.J. Brown. I don't know where we're going to go about it, but hey, it's all good. We're going to go this way. We're talking about A.J. Sorry, we'll get back to Travis Etienne, but I got to show you guys this. I got to show you. This is Bleacher Report. Okay, let's get over there. I'm just going to share that. Hold on. This is kind of what I'm talking about, Texas. It's kind of what I'm talking about. A couple years ago, he was quoted saying, "I want to win a Super Bowl." Okay, he got his Super Bowl. Now look. This is Bleacher Report. Doric Smith. Can you see this, or do I have to? How's that? That's better. After a few days, I've had time to reflect on being a champion. This is A.J. Brown. Right after they won the Super Bowl. I've had time to reflect on being a champion. I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately, it was short-lived. 2 days, to be exact. LOL. So he felt good for 2 days. Let's go back down to his tweet, actually, it looks like. I never been a champion at the highest level before, but I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It wasn't. My thrill for this game comes when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when the DB drops his head and surrenders because he can't F with me. The intense battles, early mornings, late nights, sacrifices. I love putting smiles on people's faces, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't. Hopefully this brings us to it, this link to his actual tweet, which is loading, which this is a couple years ago, so. Okay. I love putting smiles on people's faces, but don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be. It's the journey that I love most. Back to work. Okay. You tell me. Does he care? I'm not saying he just simply doesn't give a shit about anything, right? So please don't take, I'm not trying to just smear AJ Brown. I don't know the guy, but he won a Super Bowl and he just said it wasn't as good as it was supposed to be, and it was only cool for 2 days. And I love more dominating the football field and dominating defensive backs more than I love winning Super Bowls. I just, I don't know. That doesn't seem to me like the guy that I want to lead my locker room with a bunch of young folk like the Raiders have. You got Ashton Genty, soon to be a brand new quarterback. Most likely you're going to be losing Maxx Crosby. I don't know. No bones about it. How are you, brother? Good afternoon, my friend. What's on the list today? Well, we talked about Maxx Crosby at length. We can get back into it if something happens. A lot of people giving their input as far as who they would be willing to give up for him, what they wouldn't be willing to give up for him, and so on and so forth. The Raiders have come out and said that they need 2 first-round picks and a player at least, so that's pretty tall order, but we're just talking that through. We did a little Kenneth Walker. Soon we're going to talk about Keon Coleman. Texas. But good to have you here, No Bones. Thank you. I think his mental comes from the fact Hurts can't pass the ball with conviction. Mendoza seems like a slinger and has a way better accuracy, just what we've seen from college, of course. Yeah, so I haven't watched a tremendous amount about Mendoza. It was never on the Bills' radar, so I haven't gotten crazy. Hopefully, again, now that I said we're going to be able to carve out some more time shortly for our channel, I'm thinking that I can get back into more of these prospects and these draft people. Anyway, obviously watched the national championship and a couple of the playoff games. And I will say this. I don't think he's going to be an all-pro. And if he does, maybe once. But I could be wrong. I mean, I think a lot of what happened is maybe the story has overcome a lot of the X's and O's and production on the field, Great story. He seems like a great kid. I say kid now because I'm freaking 39. I feel like I'm 100 when I start talking about these dudes that are 20 years old. Although some of them are 25 when they're getting out of college, which that's crazy too. But another topic. Dave Marasco, how are you? Welcome. That said, I don't know that he's going to be everything that a first round or first overall pick should be, but we shall see. And I think he's at least earned the right for somebody to pick him up early. Put it that way. Oh, we just okay. So I don't know. So as an Eagles fan, what do you feel about Hurts? Other than, is this how you've always felt? I've never been a Hurts guy. I don't think Hurts is that good. But you speak to most Eagles fans, he's the greatest thing ever, and just because he doesn't throw interceptions doesn't mean that he's a bad quarterback. He does it on the ground. He doesn't turn the ball over. All these other things. I get you. But does he win a football game? I don't know. I don't think so. I've been saying for months, Mendoza going to be a bust in the NFL. Remember this take. Well, Dadpool, this will be up on the internet, I think, forever. So lock and load your take right here, and I will do my best not to forget. For your sake, I hope he's right. I hope the man, doesn't just bust, because that's a lot of weight to put on somebody's shoulders. But at the same token, I'm okay if an AFC rival does not have a good quarterback. Quite all right with that. Would you move down from 26 to 34 if the Cardinals also gave us their 2027 first so they can get Ty Simpson? I would, depending on the board. Okay. So let's talk about this briefly. Great question. I want to talk about a couple of things. And this decision won't be able to be made. And I think your last statement here, the last sentence, is probably the most important. This decision, for me at least, would not be able to even been considered, really, until the 25th pick is made. And the reason why, because my first draft pick, as you know, Dexy, is available. And if nothing crazy happens, although I probably will, but if nothing crazy happens in free agency and trade blocks and all this other stuff, my first pick is Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. He had a great draft. I'm sorry, a great combine. Freakish combine, actually. And I don't think that he'll last. But I'm still seeing mock drafts this morning showing him being taken 32nd by the Seahawks. So, for me, this is just me. If Dylan Thieneman is there and we move prior to for a wide receiver, a big wide receiver one, let's say a Jalen Waddle before the draft, although I don't know if that'll happen. But if that happens before the draft and we have a wide receiver one, then I'm going Thieneman immediately. If we don't make a wide receiver move prior to the draft, a big time one hammer. Amok, how are you? Welcome. Barry Irwin, how are you? Then I am going receiver in the event that Concepcion is there. So I guess I'm trying to paint a picture where I would do this to get 27. So then we would have 27 firsts, right? Because we didn't give up the 27 first round yet. No, because that's been in talk. So, and the Cardinals most likely will also have a pretty low first round pick, or high, however you want to look at it, a low number, high pick. Because I don't see them just turning things on and becoming a legitimate football team next year. If Thieneman's not there, Concepcion is not there, the Makai Lemon, of course, well, no, he's going to be gone. Most likely. Fields, I meant Fields. Malachi Fields, sorry. The Lemon guy, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I mean, good numbers in production, but kind of weird situation there. Then I think I'm open to that, because what's the difference between 26 and 34 to get another first? Yeah. And then, I think I'd be okay with it if we're getting another first, unless Thieneman or Concepcion is there and we didn't address either one of those. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say your last position, your last sentence there is kind of the most important. But I don't think it's a horrible thing. But let me ask you a question, though. Who are you seeing? Oh, Ty Simpson. Right. Okay. So who in between 26 and 34 do you think would take Ty Simpson so the Cardinals couldn't get him? I don't know what the second round looks like exactly for the top of the second round. But that's a great question. Great question. Mendoza will not be a bust. His poise in big game says a lot about him. Sure. Yeah, I mean, the poise, sure. I mean, he looked great, right, in that national championship game. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. It is college. It's totally different. And we'll see. I think Hurts is great when things are around him are working. The O-line was banged up all season, even when they were playing. The new OC was garbage. Sure, yeah, you moved on. He will win games, just like he did versus Allen. You talking about week 18? Or sorry, 17? I wouldn't call that a Hurts win over Allen. Sorry, Texas. Sorry. Okay, say Kevin Concepcion, Dylan Thieneman, and Omar Cooper Jr. off the board. No big names fell. Would you trade back? No big names fell. Would you trade back? Yes. If I got to give you a short one-word answer, yes. In that scenario, yes. Jets and Rams. Okay. Jets would certainly take Ty Simpson, right? Wouldn't they be forced to? Hurts called a QB draw in overtime versus the Bills to win the game. Okay. All right. Texas. I love you, brother. I do. And I appreciate you coming in here. And hopefully we can be friends forever. There's nothing that Jalen Hurts did in that game that solidified the Eagles to win that football game. Not a thing. I think he threw for 17 yards in the second half. So, please. I mean, I'm all in giving credit when it's due. But Jalen Hurts did not beat the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen in Week 17. Just did not. There, I will have that argument with you all day long, every day, twice on Sunday. There's just simply no way that you think that A.J. Brown beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in Week 17. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts. I know we're not talking about A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts. There's just no way. Literally, I think it was over 12 until like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Or something. Just piss poor. Piss poor. The Bills beat themselves. I can admit that as a Bill. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We gave that game away. That was quite possibly one of the worst throws that Josh Allen will ever make. I'm not even blaming him, even though that was a horrible throw. It'll happen maybe once or twice again in his career, and that's it. That was terrible. The two-point conversion obviously was solidified, but the whole game was messy, and it was icy, and it was snowing and rainy and wet. And listen, I'm not making excuses, but I'm just saying that Jalen Hurts did not beat the Buffalo Bills. If we kicked the extra point, would have 100%. I probably, because the Eagles were doing nothing. Our defense looked like they had a clue, didn't they? No bones. I think he's talking about the Thanksgiving game versus 3. Oh. The QB draw. Well, no, didn't. Oh, you're right. The QB draw. This game was a missed 2-point conversion. The game was over. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Gotcha. I'd have to refresh myself a little bit more about that a few years ago, but I see what you're saying. And that was, even so, it was 3 years ago. Also, would you want Concepcion is wide receiver 1? He's 5'11", 190. I think Allen needs a big body receiver who can spread the field. They've given him too many slot guys. Yes. From what I've seen, Concepcion, and again, I hope I'm pronouncing this the right way. I think that I am. Buffalo Bills. What's up, baby? Buffalo football. Sorry, Buffalo football. How are you? Yeah, no, I'm good with it. I think sometimes we forget what wide receiver ones are supposed to be. Well, actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I think everyone's version of a wide receiver one is different. I think that everyone has their own opinion about what a wide receiver should look like, act like, what he should be able to do, things of that nature. So, for instance, Jamar Chase is 1 inch taller than Concepcion. Does that mean he's wide receiver 1 body? I think he weighs about 10 pounds more. Could Concepcion put on 10 pounds? I'm pretty sure that's relatively easy. You get involved with an NFL weight routine, throwing weight around, you can gain 10 pounds, potentially. Would he even have to? I don't know. Jamar Chase is 1 inch taller. Does that mean that Jamar Chase is a wide receiver 1 just based on his body type? I don't think so. Again, I'm not saying a big body I'm against. I actually love big body, strong receivers that can do it all. Justin Jefferson weighs 5 pounds more than Casey Concepcion. He's 2 inches taller. We're talking about this one. Not even. Does that mean he's a wide receiver one just because of his size? No, I think it's more because of his ability and his skill set that makes people wide receiver one. Kevin Revere, how are you? Welcome. We're talking all things trades, offseason, who should go where, what's going on, all of the rumors. Everybody, please, if you're in here, follow, subscribe. Trying to get there. All of your that you need, NFL and Buffalo Bills specifically. So, Texas, to your point, I'm not saying that all these other guys are not wide receiver ones, and I'm not saying that he's definitely going to be, but I am saying that with his skill set and the way that I think that he fits into the mold and his versatility, that he can be. And I'm okay without having a big body guy because, again, I'm going to die on this hill probably. I know that I probably will. But just watch out for Keon Coleman this year. That's all I'm saying. Watch out for Keon Coleman in 2026-27 for the Buffalo Bills. That's a big body receiver. Watch out. Just like Dadpool said it, remember this statement, folks. Remember this statement. Watch out for Keon Coleman as our big body guy. He's not going to be a wide receiver one. That's not where he should be. He was never an X. He's going to be all over the field, as is Khalil Shakir, per Joe Brady. Inside, outside slot, this, that, the other thing, all over the place. I'm good with it. And I want Concepcion, absolutely. If Dylan Thieneman's not available, I want Concepcion, and I'm good with him being our guy. Yes. Along with Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, for sure. And unfortunately, I don't think Josh Palmer goes anywhere. Too big of a contract. Allen doesn't like big body receiver. Hasn't really done all that great with him. You're right. You're right. Watch out for Keon Coleman, no bones. Mark it down. Keon Coleman, baby. 26-27. Should we talk about numbers? If he stays. Danny Munn, welcome. John, 1961, how are you? Thank you for hopping in here. Follow. I don't think we should go into predictions yet. It's too soon. But I'm gonna put that out before the end of the year. Or before the offseason's over. Allen best passing season came with Diggs, Beasley, all under 6-1. True, but I mean, Shakir's there, of course. Shakir's there. I'm agreeing with you, though. Allen prefers small risks. He likes guys that will move with him when he gets off the script. Oh, 1,000%. And if you remember the video that we just did for Buffalo Hold'em and Romeo Dobbs can do that. He with his guys. He runs with Jordan Love when he gets outside the pocket. So that could be a good fit. Part of the reason why I liked him. They didn't do anything with those guys. Texas, you ain't kidding there. I'm with you there, Texas. I am not against you there, my friend. We don't have long. With Josh Allen. I like Chris Brazil as a sleeper rookie. Yeah, he's big, great hands. 100%. I don't think he's even a sleeper. I don't know if I can go that far and say he's a sleeper. Originally round 2, projection, I think he goes in round 1. Matter of fact, he had a pretty good, but wait a minute. Dexy, if you're still here, could we possibly pull off the deal of a lifetime and go back to 34 and grab Brazil there? And get a 27 first? Because I'm pretty sure you like Brazil too, don't you, Dexy? The question here that we're talking about, folks, is Chris Brazil now from Tennessee. Originally a second-round draft grade, I believe. Had a pretty good combine. I'm thinking he's going to go somewhere first round now. But the question was posed was would Arizona be willing to trade up from 34 to 26 with the Bills and give them next year's first-round draft pick for it so they can secure Ty Simpson, because most likely the Jets, who are in between 26 and 34, would probably take Ty Simpson. Then the Arizona Cardinals will be out because they're trying to get rid of Kyler Murray. Could we get a 27 first, go from 26 to 34, and secure Chris Brazil? I'm liking this. We traded down the Cardinals at 100%. Okay, so he said it. I didn't even notice that. This is 5 years ago. Dexy, our heads are Dexy. I know I don't know you, bro, but it seems like very often do we think the same thing. I did not see this. I'm reading these comments as I click them. Texas, he did plenty with those receivers, 13 seconds. Oh, I agree with that too. I agree with that. It's not all him. He's the best. He's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. He's the best playoff quarterback ever. Horrible game against Denver. He's the best quarterback player ever. Quarterback playoff guy ever. Statistically, you can say it. Texas, the Bills have done the same thing for years and it's not working. Maybe it was a coach, but I think Allen needs a big-time wide receiver one now that they have a run game with Cooks. Oh, not disagreeing. Not disagreeing. We absolutely need to address the wide receiver room. 100%. I think everybody can agree with that. I totally agree with you. But to Dadpool's point, I mean, he was winning coming off the field with like less than a minute a few times when his season was ended. Exactly what I said. I want Dobbs over. Fair enough. And I don't know if you caught our Buffalo Hold'em episode with Dobbs, but I know we were talking that morning, right? And you had mentioned your thoughts on Dobbs over Shaheed, and my initial thought was, I'd take Shaheed actually for depth and stretching the field. I watched a lot, almost. I think I watched every single route that he ran in 2026 or 5. I think it was 75% of Dobbs's receptions were for first downs. First downs. To this point, I've been saying for 2 years now or 3, but only 5 months online once we started this cold front thing. The Bills need a wide receiver. And just sum it up simply. On 3rd and 8, that the entire stadium, both teams and everyone watching knows where the ball is going to be thrown. It's still thrown to that person, and he still catches the ball and gets the first down. That's what I'm looking for. Easy, right? Freaking easy. It's exactly what. Yes. I like Casey. Me too, 100%. If Bean gets 27 first, I'd be very. Me too. But seriously, Dexy, what are you hearing? What are you thinking? Will Brazzell, regardless of this trade or not, would he be available at 34? Boys, I'll be right back. Got to let the dog out real fast. I hear him. He's got his own doorbell. He hits the freaking thing. It's crazy. Sorry about that. My apologies. We're back. We are back. What did I miss? Oh, yeah. I asked Dexy if he's still fan. I think he might still be there, but nah. I don't know. Y'all keep playing carousel with these mid-wide receivers. A.J. Brown for Greg in a second. Who are you talking about, Texas? Please tell me, Texas, that you did not just say. Please. I don't know. We're going to go back to that, Texas. I think Dobbs led the league in first downs with only 90-something targets. Yeah, exactly. 87 or 88. Let's pull it back up. Oh, do I still have this up from last? No. I'm going to verify that for you. But yes, fantastic first down. It's right here. 85 targets, 41 first downs. 41 first downs out of 55 catches for Dobbs. And I don't even know, I'm assuming, this is pro reference, I'm assuming that a first down or a touchdown is also considered a first down in their mind because he had 6 touchdowns. So if it wasn't, then you're talking 47 out of 55 were first downs. But I believe they do. Exactly my point. Nor is Jamar Chase. He's 6 foot as well. Height isn't exactly. They could do it still. It's the defense that caused us 100%. 100%. And that's why I'm so adamant about Thieneman and potentially Crosby, not Fred Oliver, but potentially Crosby. That's what I'm saying. Y'all talking about rookie, late first round wide receivers and Shaheed and Dobbs. F those guys. LMAO, you need to trade for a top 10 receiver. Okay, fair. But let's be realistic here, Texas. Also, realistically, the Bills have the 34 or the 26th pick. Okay, so they're not going to be able to draft Cornell Tate, no matter what, unless they give away the house. Which I'm hearing is 2 firsts and maybe a second also to move up to the top 6, 7 for Tate. Other than that, you're not talking about world beaters here in this year's draft class. And at the same token, please get off of the A.J. Brown thing because he's not. I think he's a top 10 receiver. Is he a top 10 wide receiver free agent? Yeah, maybe. I'm sorry, he's not even a free agent. Is he a top 10 name that's being thrown around that is on the trade block potentially? Sure, maybe, but he's not. He's not that guy. And Shaheed and Dobbs are free agents. So look, we have to look at the people that are free agents, right? We have to look at it. Well, at least I feel we should. A.J. Brown in top 10. I'm with you, Dexy. At this point, you have Josh freaking out. Sorry. Get him a true wide receiver regardless of what it takes. Sure. But you're also Corey, how are you? Vern, how are you? Cloyd, Joe Murillo, sorry. How was everybody? Appreciate all of you. You had Stefan Diggs. That's a true one at the time, right? Can we agree that at the time, maybe not anymore, but at the time, Stefan Diggs was a true one? And no Super Bowls. No Super Bowls. Hold on. This dang dog, man. I tell you. So even with Stefan Diggs, there's no Super Bowl. I wish there was, but there's no Super Bowl. No bones about it. I'd rather trade big assets to get Cornell Tate rather than trade for A.J. Brown and his huge contract. Yeah. A.J. Brown, actually, believe it or not, though, is not owed a lot of money for 2026 as far as base salary goes. Tate on a rookie deal for 5 years. Yes, you would. No on Tate is Higgins 2.0. Not a fan of Tate. I mean, yeah, and he didn't really prove too much in terms of top-end speed, but still a 4.5 decent, but it's nothing crazy. 4.54, something like that. Been saying this for months. Jordan Tyson, Texas. Yeah. I like that better as well, to be honest with you. But, again, Tyson is what? Top 17 picks? So you'll have to move up 8 or so, potentially. He does look legit. You're right. I'm with you. I'm with all of you there. Jordan Tyson looks pretty damn good, bro. Jimmy back in. Ben Flores. Corey, how are you, bro? How is everybody? Do me a favor if you haven't already, follow the channel. Got to get us to 1,000. We're real close. We're getting there. But we got to get there, TikTok. Do me a favor. Share that thing. Show everybody. So I don't have to do both, man. I don't want to do both. I just want to focus on one screen here. I'm not multitasking. I don't want to do that anymore. What do you want to talk about? Anything going on in the world of X? Has anything happening that we did not know about? Jets place non-exclusive franchise tag on Breece Hall. Boom. All right, so Breece Hall almost breaking. We missed it by a little bit, but we were live when it happened. We were on here when it happened 1 hour ago. I just zoomed into the wrong thing. I had to go back here. Here we go. So 3 hours ago. Okay. All right. So it's unrestricted. So if Hall agrees to an offer that the Jets don't match, the team acquiring him would have to send two. So essentially, Breece Hall will be a New York Jet next year with a franchise tag worth $14 million. Franchise tag money is the average of the top 5 paid players in the NFL at that position. That's how you franchise somebody. So that's something. Didn't see that coming necessarily. Well, I guess we kind of did, right? Just didn't know it was actually going to happen, I guess. So what do you all feel about that? Breece Hall, tagged. So now the Jets definitely would go after Ty Simpson. That could be a thing. You might have hit something there, Dexy. Tyson has injury concerns, they say, but I wouldn't let that scare me off. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Omar or Owen, right? Yeah. I'd be pissed if I had Josh Allen on my team and my team doesn't do everything possible to get him a wide receiver. Okay. Agreed. Pretty bold or broad statement, but agreed. They can make the case that they tried to do it at the trade deadline for Jalen Waddle. For Bean, they did, and they just never heard back. Per everybody else in the media, they didn't agree. Like they wouldn't give the Dolphins what they wanted. But then Bean said, we put in an offer. He said, I'm not quoting him, but he said something like, yeah, we're in touch. And then they just ghosted. Breece Hall stuck in purgatory. No shit. Like, that's just bad. I feel bad for the man because he's awesome. I like the guy. I think he plays great. Tate, when he measured, is smaller than listed and ran a 4.5. Right. That's what we were just talking about. I was already super low on him, and I knew I didn't want anything to do with him unless he fell to 26. Yeah, which probably won't happen. But you never know. We just don't know. I can't wait for the draft, man. I can't wait for March 11th. I really can't for the free agency. Again, we're going to try to go live. It's my son Cold Front Jr.'s birthday, and I think he's going to be on here with us. Talking free agency. I hope. That's what I like about the Eagles. They will do their best. Okay, listen. Here we go, Texas. Let me explain this to you really quickly. You guys and your organization and Howie Roseman have done phenomenal. Mia, how are you? Have done phenomenal. Ross, pleasure to see you, brother. Phenomenally. You make shit happen and you don't worry about next year and the next 3 years and all this other shit. You just make it happen every year and then you never have, well, you always have stuff you got to deal with, but you just make it happen. And I love that out of you guys. I do. I love it. Texas, y'all should draft. Oh, so he's talking about Philadelphia. Should draft a developmental quarterback next year. GM likes to think 2 years in advance. So what do you think of that? Yeah, for sure. I think you're talking to Texas, but Texas doesn't like Jalen Hurts. So get a young guy, maybe almost a project guy that you think has high upside, but maybe the floor is also very low. I think that's a great idea. Okay. Eagles have a mastermind GM and he thinks 2 years in advance for everything. I totally agree. Now, what I meant, though, because I actually said the opposite of that, what I meant was he doesn't get concerned with overspending now and trying to save for the future. That's what I meant by that. He's not so concerned about not going out and making the splash move because, what would it do to us in 2 years, 3 years? Who cares? You need to win now. And then you figure it out. That's my point. And I don't think he's got the balls to do that. And he's shown that time and time again. And I commend him for that. All right. So Breece Hall, as we alluded to, is franchise tagged. Okay, somebody had mentioned this earlier. Let's go to this one. Here's Jonathan Greenard. They would like to keep Greenard, but they also have salary cap edges they're working through that they have led to the trade conversations. Okay. Here we go, boys. I forget who said that earlier. It might have been Dadpool. Forget. That's a possibility. I don't mind this at all. He's obviously not going to cost you 2 first-rounders and a player. I can promise that. Oof. I don't know. Greenard in the mix. They don't want to, but they have salary cap issues. And I think they're number one on Thieneman, which I can't stand. I think the Vikings are the most likely team to trade for Dylan Thieneman. Or I'm sorry, to draft Dylan Thieneman. Can't stand it. Let's see here. Oh, the Bills are not playing an international football game next year. I don't know if we talked about that. I'm kind of happy with that. Should the Bills keep wide receiver Brandon Cooks? Raiders looking for minor purchase. Yeah, so I don't think anything quite has happened yet. And it's all speculations and, just talk at the moment right now. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to wrap it for now, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. And maybe we'll hop back on later tonight. And we'll see. I think, we're going to hop back on later tonight and see if anything's happened and talk some more. I will get it out there in terms of the time. I appreciate all of you. And I think what we'll do is we'll get a little bit more into, because I'm very intrigued about Greenard. I think that's something on like a day 2 maybe that we can go potentially trade for him, because Crosby obviously is crazy, but that would give us the ability to do other things as well. Let's take a look at some film on him also. I got a couple things to do this evening. Kids got basketball. There's a parent meeting because we got some tournament team that they have coming up here. So anyway, I love all of you. Appreciate you. If you didn't already and you're in here, please subscribe and follow right now. Get all your notifications. So every time we go live or we post a video, you got that. And I will update you on everything that we can possibly see, think of, whatever. And we're going to have some more time with all of you here in the near, now for the foreseeable future. And we'll talk through that. But anyway, love you. Subscribe, follow. We'll see you later tonight, I think. Any questions, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, comment on one of the videos. I'll do my best always to get back to all of them. I think that I do. I hope that I do. If I don't, just tell me. But I appreciate everybody. And we will see you shortly. 8 days prior to the NFL season starting, free agent opening, and trades. I think they're still going to happen this week. So let me know what you think and who you want to cover later on. I'm going to get into some Greenard stuff, and we'll talk to you guys later. Go Bills. Cold front.